Hello and welcome back to the original Larry D's Food for Thought. Today we will be, of course, reading out of that old King James Bible, okay? We'll be reading here a little and there a little, okay? Also be going over a few scriptures today concerning the title, The Lord's Judgment Day and the Book of Life. The Lord's Judgment Day and the Book of Life, okay? I am going to share these scriptures with you right quick here. Uh, Need to make a change on that, but that's okay. Um, let's go ahead and share these scriptures, and you can jot them down if you like. But yeah, tell you, people, the Lord's gonna have a judgment day, okay? And how you live your life today will depict where you're gonna spend all eternity, okay? Also, the Lord has a book of remembrance written, okay? Which is the book of life. And those people, if your name get blotted out of that book, guess what? We're going to read it and show you if your name is not in that book at the judgment, you will be thrown into the lake of fire. Okay. But we're going to show you how you get your name in there. We're going to show you how you can get blotted out of that book as well. Okay. But the Lord is going to have a judgment. Now, yeah, understand this, that we right now being judged. Okay. The Lord is watching what we do. Can we cut the mustard? Did we sit down and read his word? Did we understand what we should and shouldn't do? And are we doing it? Okay. But anyway, we are going to go over these scriptures, see can we get a tad bit of understanding on this thing, because we got to do all we can, people. I'm telling you, to keep our name in that book, because we almost at the end of this thing. All right. All you have to do is look around you, see what's going on. You know it's almost over. Okay. But anyway, I'm gonna stop sharing these. We're gonna go over these scriptures and see if we can get a little bit of understanding on it, okay? But we are going to start this in, let's see, we're going to start this in Revelations. Revelation, the 20th chapter, and I'm going to start reading at verse 1. Okay. And it reads, And I saw an angel come down from heaven having the key of the bottomless pit and a great chain in his hand. And he laid hold on that dragon, that old serpent, which is the devil and Satan, and bound him 1,000 years. Okay. And cast him into the bottomless pit and shut him up and set a seal upon him that he should deceive the nations no more until the 1,000 years should be fulfilled. And after that, he must be loosed a little season. Okay. So that angel came down, grabbed old Satan, threw him in that bottomless pit, put a seal on him, and now this cat cannot deceive the nations for 1,000 years. But after the 1,000 years is over, they're gonna loose him because he's gonna be coming back doing some more stuff. Okay, but and I saw thrones, and they that sat upon them, and judgment was given unto them. And I saw the souls of them that were beheaded for the witness of Jesus and for the word of God, and which had not worshipped the beast, neither had his image, neither had received his mark upon their foreheads or in their hands. Now, it's going to come a time when they're going to try and force a mark on you, right? And that was the mark of the beast, and put it in your right hand or your forehead. Better not take it. Okay, telling you, you do, you're gonna have yourself a direct ticket to the lake of fire. All right. But let's see, let's see, where we at here? In their right hand, and they lived and reigned with Christ 1,000 years. But the rest of the dead lived not again until the 1,000 years were finished. This is the first resurrection. Okay. Verse 6. Blessed and holy is he that has part in the first resurrection. On such the second death has no power. But they shall be priests of God and of Christ, and shall reign with him 1,000 years. That's when the Lord will be on this earth for 1,000 years, 1,000 years of peace. Satan locked up in that old bottomless pit. Can't deceive the nations. All right. But let's look at this. Verse 11. And I saw a great white throne, and him that sat on it, from whose face the earth and the heaven fled away, and there was found no place for them. And I saw the dead, small and great, stand before God. Mm. And the books were open. What books? These 66 books right here that we reading out of today. Okay, this Holy Bible. All right, were open, and another book was open, which is the book of life. And the dead were judged out of those things which were written in the books according to their works. You see that? So, best to sit down, read this book, see what it is the Lord wants you to do and not do, because you're going to be judged out of these books right here. Okay? Now, okay, another book was opened, which is the book of life, and the dead were judged out of those things which are written in the books according to their works. And the sea gave up the dead which were in it, and death and hell delivered up the dead which are in them, and they were judged every man according to their works. I say, read this book, people. All right, verse 14. And death and hell was cast into the lake of fire. This is the second death. So, yeah, you got a first and second death. Okay, because it's appointed that every man should die once. But that second death is the lake of fire. But look at this, 15. Check this out. And whosoever was not found written in the book of life was cast into the lake of fire. So get your name in that book. Keep your name in that book. I'll show you how you get kicked out of that book. We blot it out. Okay. But let's go a little further here. Let's go to the Old Testament. Let's go to, let's see, Isaiah. Let's go to the book of Isaiah 66. Take a quick look at this here. This is Isaiah 66. And we'll start reading at, let's see here, verse 23. And it reads, and it shall come to pass that from one new moon to another, and from one Sabbath to another, shall all flesh come to worship before me, saith the Lord. Verse 24. Now, pay close attention to that. Close attention to this, all right? And they shall go forth and look upon the carcasses of the men that have transgressed against me, for their worm shall not die, and neither shall thy fire be quenched, and they shall be an abhorring unto all flesh. So those going in that lake of fire, look, I know a lot of people say, well, LD, I go in that lake of fire, I just burn up. You know what? Yes, flesh and blood would burn up. But guess what? What did it just say right here? I said, you ain't gonna die. You're gonna be down a death forever. And that fire that's on you is not gonna be quenched. Therefore, you won't be flesh and blood. You will be a spirit being. Spirit beings don't burn up. They burn forever. Okay? So keep that in mind. A lot of people say, well, I just can't take it anymore. I'm going to commit suicide. Commit suicide for what? What you and when you lay down, you're only gonna be asleep for a moment. You be dead for a moment, and Lord gonna raise you back. You can say, whoa, 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 wait a minute. I thought I killed myself long time ago. Yeah, it was a long time ago. But hey, just like a moment to you. Lord gonna wake you back up, judge you. What do he say? Thou shalt not kill. That includes yourself. Terrible thing, but think about that. But look, let's go further right here. Let's go to Proverbs right quick. Let's see, going to Proverbs 14. Take a quick look at this here. Let's see. Because I'm tell you, man, people be thinking some crazy stuff, man. But I tell you what we think ain't worth a hill of beans. But what's written in this book, that's what counts. Okay. This is Proverbs 14. Start reading at verse 5. And it reads, look, a faithful witness will not lie, but a false witness will utter lies. Okay. Verse 12. There is a way which seemeth right unto a man, but the end thereof are the ways of death. See that? So what we think don't mean nothing. But what you read out of this book, that's what you better adhere to. Okay. You think what you want. All right. But let's move on right here. Let's go to St. John right quick. Over here to St. John, St. John 5, St. John, the fifth chapter. And I'm going to start reading at verse 21. And it reads, look, for as the Father raises up the dead and quickeneth them, even so the Son quickeneth whom he will. So, Lord can raise up who we want to. That means quickeneth means make alive, okay? But he said, and Jesus said, he can make alive whomever he want to. Okay, look, for the Father judges no man. All right, but has committed all judgment unto the Son. He put all judgment in the Lord in Jesus' hand. Okay, verse 24. Look, verily, verily, and look, all of this right here that I'm reading right here out of St. John the fifth chapter is in red. This is Jesus speaking himself. Okay, look, verse 24. Verily, verily, I say unto you, he that heareth my word and believeth on him that sent me has everlasting life and shall not come into condemnation, but is passed from death unto life. So you die, hey, Lord gonna wake you back up. All right, look, verse let's see why we're at here. Verse 24. I just read. Oh, I wrote something down wrong here. 24. Okay, now then. Verse 26. Look, for as the Father has life in himself, so has he given the Son to have life in him. Verse 28. Marvel not at this, for the hour is coming in the which all that are in the graves shall hear his voice. Look, and shall come forth they that have done good to the resurrection of life, and they that have done evil unto the resurrection of damnation. So there's two resurrections here. All right. You want to try and make that first resurrection because we read, hey, those that come up in the first resurrection, hey, you got to worry about that second death. It has no power over you. Okay. But that damnation, you come up, stand before that white throne of judgment. You better hope your good deeds outweigh them bad ones, or you're going to resurrection of damnation, which is lake of fire. Okay. But let's go further here. Let's go to Hmm, wait a minute. Oh, that's good. That's good enough. Let's go to Daniel right quick. Going to the book of Daniel, and let's take a quick look at this right here. This is Daniel, the 12th chapter. Take a quick look at this. Where you at, Daniel? Here we go. Daniel, the 12th chapter. Start reading at verse 1, and it reads, look, and at that time shall Michael stand up, the great prince, which standeth for the children of thy people. And there shall be a time of trouble such as never was since there was a nation, even to that same time. It's that 3.5 years of great tribulation talking about, okay? That the Lord gonna bring upon this earth. Look, and at that time thy people shall be delivered, everyone that shall be found written in the book. What book? The book of life. Okay, look. And many of them that sleep in the dust of the earth shall awake, some to everlasting life, and some to shame and everlasting contempt. What did we just read over in St. John, the fifth chapter? Same thing, wasn't it? Okay, just worded a little bit different. But whatever you read in that Old Testament, that New Testament, you can sure read it in the Old. Okay, because we have a more sure word of prophecy. Okay, where is that at? Why the prophets? The Old Testament. All right. But let's go here. Let's go to Malachi right quick. Talk about that book of life. Get your name in there. You better keep it in there. This is Malachi 3. And let's see. I'm gonna start reading at verse 16. And let's see. See how you get your name in that book. Look. Uh Malachi 3 and 16. And read, look, then they that feared the Lord. What did the Lord have written over in Ecclesiastes, the 12th chapter? Fear God and keep those commandments, didn't he? Okay, look. Then they that feared the Lord spake often one to another, and the Lord hearkened and heard it. Don't you think the Lord ain't listening? Okay, look. And a book of remembrance was written before him for them that feared the Lord and that thought upon his name. So, you fear God and keep those commandments, and you talk good things about the Lord. Look, get your name put in that book, man. Book of remembrance, which is book of life. You get it there, you better keep it there. I'm gonna show you how you can get your butt kicked out of it, or get your name blotted out of it. Let's go take a quick look at it right quick. Let's go over here to Exodus 32nd chapter right quick. And take a quick look at this right here. This is I think I get it over here. I'm going 30. Exodus 32, and I'm going to start reading, let's see, verse 30. And it reads, look, and it came to pass on the morrow that Moses said unto the people, Ye have sinned a great sin. And now I will go up unto the Lord peradventure, or perhaps I shall make an atonement for your sin. These cats done set up there and made a golden calf and went to worshiping that thing. Lord told them to have no other gods before me. Okay, but they sinned just that quick. But look, verse 31. And Moses returned unto the Lord and said, Oh, this people have sinned a great sin and have made them gods of gold. That's that old golden calf that they made, all right? Verse 32. Now, yet, this is look at what Moses said, and I will not make the statement, okay? But I mean, I love everybody, but whew, I'll make this statement. Look, verse 32. Yet now, if thou wilt forgive their sin, and if not, blot me, I pray thee, out of thy book which thou hast written. Whoa. Boy, you know Moses must have really loved that people to make that statement, okay? Because he knew about that book of life. And he said, blot him out. Whew, man. Verse 33, let's see what the Lord told him. Look, and the Lord said unto Moses, Whosoever has sinned against me, him will I blot out of my book. You better watch yourself, okay? You want committing that sin and don't turn away from it. That's right, get your name blotted out of that book. And what do we read over in Revelation 20th chapter? If your name ain't found in that book, what you gonna do? Going right in that lake of fire. You don't want to go there, okay? But let's take a quick look at this. Are we in the Old Testament? Because I'm gonna read it to you. Well, I quoted some of it, but I'm gonna read it to you. What I say don't mean nothing. What the book says what counts. This is Ecclesiastes 12th chapter. Start reading at verse 13 and listen up. Look, let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear God and keep his commandments. What do you say? Those that feared God and kept his commandments. We just read over Malachi. Look, get your name in that book. Look, for this is the whole duty of man. For God shall bring every work into judgment with every secret thing, whether it be good or whether it be evil. What do we read in Revelation about those works? You're going to be judged by the things that's written in this book according to your works. Keep that in mind, people. All right. But let's go to this last place right quick. I'm going to go back and I want to read this one more time. I want it to soak into your brain. Okay. Because, buddy, I'm going to tell you something. This is no joke here. You mess around and go in there like a fire, man, you're gonna have yourself a problem for all eternity. You simply don't want to go there. Okay, this is Revelation 20. Start reading again at verse 12. Look, and I saw the dead, small and great, stand before God, and the books were open. What books? These 66 books. Another book was open, which is the book of life, and the dead were judged out of those things which are written in those books according to their works. Okay, so, and the sea gave up the dead which were in it, and death and hell delivered up the dead which is in them, and they were judged every man according to his works. Keep saying that. Okay, verse 15, look, and whosoever was not found written in the book of life was cast into the lake of fire. Okay, so look, read this book, these 66 books, okay, and do what it say, and keep those commandments, and fear God, get your name in that book, and keep it there, okay, because we are so close to the end, because you see what we said, what the book said, your name get blotted out of that book, and it won't found in there. At the judgment, guess what? Lake of fire. All right. And I hope you understood this. So, with that food for thought, think on these scriptures and words throughout the course of the day. And until next time, peace.